Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the 92 Diaries with your girl Fee.
Miss Shards.
And Juliet.
And today's topic is something I think we all can think, well, we all know it's one of those main topics of discussion. It's about the dating experience. And this stems from a clip that we've all seen. We're going to post it in the description below. It was from Steve Harvey show. It doesn't air here in the UK, sadly, but there is a clip on YouTube. We're going to put it in the description below. And it just basically talks about how men are supposed to be the ones who pay for a first date. And they asked various co-hosts what their viewpoints were. But what I want to know is what Chard's and Julie's perspective is on the dating experience. Should a man pay on the first date, or is that time gone?
Ooh, chat, can I start?
Yes.
Because I think, I think, yes, today is such a modern day society where everyone wants to be equal. They want to do things half and half. Women want to prove not their worth, but their rights to be self-sufficient, independent, and stand on their own and not need a man to pay for them or not want to be bought. I understand that ideology. However, I think call me old, I don't care. I still think that you, as a guy, you're courting me, and I don't know why we have switched the roles for women to court guys. That philosophy I don't understand. I may have your opinion. Cool. But as a man, you're supposed to be, ideally you're supposed to take the role of head of a household, the leader. Therefore, you should take the lead and start the courting session. You're supposed to come after me. You're supposed to be the chaser. That is the way it's supposed to. You're naturally a hunter. That is your role.
Here we go.
I'm gonna go into roles a little bit later when it comes to marriage and stuff, but that's your role. That's your nature, and you're supposed to be, showing me that you can take care of me. You want to add me to your family. It's not supposed to be. I can go slightly religious and say a man leaves his home, finds his wife and leaves his home to find his wife, etc., and they become one. It doesn't say a woman goes to find her husband in the Bible. So that there's so many things and philosophies, and that's just one example where it should be the man or the men taking the first step and doing what's right. Pay the bill, pay the money, take me out. Take me out, then you pay the money, you pay the bill. It don't mean that I'm broke. It don't mean that I don't have my own money. Yes, I do, honey, and it's pocket change. That date is pocket change, but it's about goals. Lead by example. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Julie, you wanna? I know you've got a different point of view.
Yeah, I think the last time that, because we've previously had the the English. We previously had this discussion, and I think last time I was probably in my head thinking of non-romantic, like meeting up with friends kind of thing, and dating in per se. If we're excluding meeting up with friends and blah blah, meeting up with male friends, we're just talking about romantic dating.
Yes.
I can't lie. I will appreciate if a guy does pay. It will make me rate him more. Let me not lie, because I'll think more time if a guy does offer to pay, then in my mind, it's him kind of putting out his intentions that he hopes to take care of me in some sort of way. However, at the same time, I won't lie, I still wouldn't mind paying for myself. Like if it came down to it, I'll pay for myself. And I was going to say, in addition to that, if I don't like the guy, I'm definitely paying for myself. Simply because I feel like if I did not enjoy this date, or I want nothing more to do with the guy, me paying for myself, for me, is like, okay, I'm cutting all ties. You can't hold this over me. I can't be bought. We tried it. It didn't work out. Let bygones be bygones, 50-50. You've invested your time. I've invested mine. We both invested our money. We can be done now. Goodbye and good night. So,
Like a divorce.
LOL.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, just saying that again though. If I did really like the guy and he was like, "Oh, can we split?" I can't lie. I'll be like, "Oh, come on," but I'd still be like, "Cool." and I'll pay my half. It's not that deep to me. I feel like maybe in that respect I'm fairly flexible, but I would appreciate it more if he did pay. So,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
What about you, Fee?
Well, I'm gonna go based off the last date I had, which was just a calm, casual date. It wasn't anything, but it just so happened. It wasn't like anybody had any expectations. It just so happened that he bought the first round of drinks, and then I just felt inclined to buy the next round, and then we just kind of went back and forth like that. It wasn't anything that I felt the need to make a big deal out of. However, as Charles likes to say, I think it's gonna be, it's not as grey and white as we try to make it seem. I think, like I've mentioned this before, the circumstances in which you meet, it makes it different. If you've known this person as a friend before and you're now going to try and date each other romantically, you've already got that basis of a friendship. You might not see any reason to go half and half, or you might not see a reason that it's an issue to go half and half. However, again, if you're friends and he knows you, he will know that you kind of want to be wined and dined a little bit, and he shouldn't have an issue with wanting to pay because he knows you and he knows you don't have any ulterior motive. And I think that's the problem. A lot of these guys seem to think we've got an ulterior motive when it comes to like not drawing for our purse first. I've told you, like that thing irritates me. Like, you're trying to catch me out in some sort of act, and it's not an act. I just want you to show that you have a genuine heart and you're willing to pay. That's it. It's not a duel. Like, chill out. It's not that serious.
It's two things that you pointed out there, Fee. One, the fact that, back and forth. I think you've just described a mate. You haven't described a partner, potential, person who's going to serve the family. You've described the mate. But that makes you mates, and you've put it into the friendship realm already. Because in the back of your mind, that is how it is, and that is how it's going to subconsciously be, because it has been that way for such a long time. If you're bouncing off each other back and forth, equal, I'll get this one, you get this one, I'll get this one. Aside from when you're married, because you have to have that friendship mates / status within your marriage. That's not how you proposition a kind of relationship type of thing. You start off with, can you provide for me as the head of our family, and then within that, can I support
But Chad,
what's the point of dating then?
Pull the brakes on that a little bit though, because you're still trying to fill this person out. It's a first date.
Yeah.
No. This is where you're wrong, because if you think
it's not every date you're like, can you provide for me? Can you get fruit? Can you get me the meat?
It's funny how people think it's too much pressure to say, oh, can you provide for me? What are you looking for? What are your intentions on the first date? But it's easy to let someone into your vagina or sleep with you, like back and forth. And you can't say that the pressures are not. So you're saying that having sex with someone is so much easier than actually asking the real questions that matter. No, it's not.
Can I just interject? I think it's quite interesting that you bring up the sex thing, as well as, I guess, the back and forth with those questions about, can you provide, can you do this, can you do that? Because I find, from what I've seen generally and from what I've heard, for some people, having sex with someone isn't something that they necessarily take that seriously. It's not particularly sacred to them, and they are happy to actually engage with that with people who they're not in a relationship with. But when it comes to being in a relationship or getting into one, that's when they want to come with the questions. That's when they come in with the inner details. And I think there's that distinction, because it really depends on how much you actually hold sex sacred. If you hold it sacred and you hold those questions all equally sacred, then they're both going to be equally important to you. For some people, they are happy to sleep with complete strangers. That's how one night stands happen. So
that's what I'm saying. The fact that people have put it more is like, it's less weighted on the sex thing than it is on the questions about your life thing. It's like, where are your priorities? Like, what like, how do you balance that? How can you say it's so much easier to willingly have sex with somebody when that in itself That's personal. That's intimate. This person is sharing your bodily fluids. You don't just go on the road like if you anybody could be walking around with anything. Do you know what I mean? But you're sharing bodily fluids with that person. You've decided to come close enough to do that. You can't, and you're weighting it so much lighter than asking, you know, what is this person's intentions? What do you want to do with your life? Does it match up with what I want to do? Those how I don't know why our generation or the generations of today are making that so light-weighted when it's a heavy-weighted thing.
Well,
and the lighter weight should be the questions.
Well, that's the thing, though. Everybody is scared. Nobody wants to ask the heavy questions too early on because you don't know this Tom, Dick, or Harry just yet. So it's like, but then at the same time, I think we can all say that we've done this at some point in our lives. When you meet somebody and you like them, you're very much attracted to them, you feel the chemistry, you then hold back certain things that you would ask, that you wouldn't ask necessarily if you didn't like this person so much, just because you want to still stay in their good books. So you might be reluctant. No, it's true. You might be reluctant to ask them about, their goals, their commitment, like whatever it is that they value in a relationship, because you don't want to scare them off. You still want to keep them within a close, like, do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Don't you think doing something like that though speaks more of our own insecurities rather than what we've
people that go out on first dates are insecure people. What person out there that's going out on a first date is like 1000% don't put your hand up, Shards. Put it down.
Wait. Wait a minute. This is a thing here. This is a secret I'll tell you guys, right? I interrogate anybody.
You don't interrogate me. You're doing DBS checks on people.
Friends, whether you're a potential boyfriend, whether you're a potential anything, if you're going to be in my proximity, I will interrogate you. Reason being is because whatever relationship we develop, a friendship, acquaintanceship, or a relationship, situationship. I mean, but like any type of ship that we are developing, I need to know that you are somebody who I would like to be in my proximity. Therefore, I want to know what your goals are. I want to know what your ambitions are. And that's before any bodily fluids of any sort, whether it's sharing a drink or sharing a bed, comes about. So before we start exchanging anything spiritually, emotionally, and otherwise, I need to know where you stand, whether you're on my level, as to say. You know, so that for me, I don't wait. I think it's perception. I don't wait, Juliet. I don't weigh those questions as heavy because I feel like, not like I value myself, I do, but in a way I value my time and my company. And I feel like not knowing my company, a waste of my time. Therefore, those questions come first to me. Those are the lightweighted questions. Let's get that out of the way. Then I know what you're about. Then we can say, okay, maybe there's a second step. Maybe there's a third step.
Yeah, it's true, but it just doesn't happen like that. Like, another point, we are all in positions in life where we're doing quite well. And a majority of guys out there, I don't know, I don't want to say statistically because I don't actually know the facts, but from what I've seen, it seems there are... People are going to slaughter me if I say this wrong. But you don't meet a lot of guys that are studying things that are like vocations and... Do you get what I'm saying?
You mean that there are more Mickey Mouse course people out there than there are... I
was trying to be gentle, but you would be savage. But yeah, like...
We should call Miss Shards Miss Savage from now on. No, change the name.
Like, a lot of the guys, like I remember when we were in uni, I went on a date with a guy and I asked him what he studied at uni. Bearing in mind he'd graduated, and he was like, I did sound engineering. Not to knock anybody that's done that, but
okay.
And my silence speaks for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Engineering's behind there, so I'm not gonna knock it.
Then it's just a lot of
these people about media.
Yeah, but this is my point, though. A lot of people study these things, and I'm not saying that you will never make it. You will never break into a career that's very, very fruitful. I wish that every single one of you out there do. But it's just like more time, you see them struggling, and they're not able to keep their finances together. Therefore, they feel like they're less inclined to take you out somewhere where they can actually afford to pay. And that's why they may feel that they want to go hard, because, you know, times are hard out here, and it's not easy, you know, and all you girls, you're high maintenance, and just no, like, you just didn't really think through your choices properly.
Women should be high maintenance. Sorry. Do you know what it took to construct us? Like, do you think that this
some sand, some water, and maybe some DNA?
But like, okay, why is Mother Nature female? Do you know what it took to create our internal system? Our internal system does not work the same way. How can we expand so much, inhabit or harbor and not harvest, but harbor a life inside of us, bring it out into the world, and still do it over and over again, and still get back? What? We're not just normal. We should be high maintenance. What the F? Like, come on, stop it.
You know what? I was going to say, actually, I guess, as not necessarily a counter, but just to follow up what you said about the Mickey Mouse degree thing. I feel like, to be honest, regardless of your degree discipline or your apprenticeship, whatever it is that you studied, I think it's really about how much of a hard worker or how ambitious that person is. Actually, making those things the same thing, to be honest, because I think some people can claim to be ambitious, but all they do is talk. They don't actually do anything. So I think as long as someone is both ambitious and hardworking and is goal orientated, I don't think it matters what degree discipline they do. And I think when you tend to look for, encounter or meet those people who are generally goal orientated, they will always have the means to be able to look after themselves and you if necessary. So I feel like it's really about having real discernment with who you're even allowing to talk to you in the first place.
I agree.
Because if someone's here giving you lazy energy, that's where the conversation shouldn't even start. Carry on walking.
Like, you know what, you could be in a medical field and still be a lazy type of person. So the degree thing was fee shade. I just needed to clarify what she was saying.
Saying what some people might be thinking is all. I didn't say I necessarily agree with it, nor was it a justifiable.
No, it's fair. That's what I'm saying. It was just a follow up.
So going into like roles, so the whole point of this is people fulfilling your roles, and I feel like it's so important, even in a team, whether you're at work, whether you're just playing a role, whether it's a movie, whatever it is, everyone has their role to play, and it doesn't work if everyone is trying to play everyone else's role. It don't work like that, because in a team, having two leaders may not work, or it may be like, oh, maybe the team is big enough, it needs two leaders, but not everybody can be a leader. Some people need to be a follower in order for it to work. So in terms of like the whole marriage or the dating situation, okay, let's go from dating first. If I'm trying to court you and you're trying to court me at the same time, it's like we're both trying to lead the team. Does it work? No. One person needs to sit back and be like, okay, let me be led. And then there's compromise along the way. As a good leader, you address your team and you take suggestions on whatever, and then you make decisions from there. But there still has to be someone who takes the lead. You can't both be leading and act like this is going to be successful. It's not. And that's what I'm saying. When we go way back into like the caveman times, and so, like, guys are natural hunters. That's what that's what they're there to do. That's their body structure. They have broad shoulders so they can carry heavy things from what they have killed or whatever. They have a hunter's instinct so that they can provide for their family. That's your role. As a woman, you have the nurturing side. Guys, the nurturing side. You know, men can't harbor a baby for 9 months. They can't carry it. They listen, if they stub their toe, they act like it's worse than period pains. Come on. Like, that's why it's like man flu. They can't do that kind of stuff. And that's where they can, but we're stronger at it. And we were naturally stronger. We were naturally made to be stronger at it. So everyone has their roles and they just need to sit within that. And the same thing within marriage. For it to work as a partnership, people need to be fulfilling their roles. I'm not saying that you can't chop and change. I'm not saying you can't contribute here and there, whether it's income or making the bread as a woman, and whether it's a man participating or helping out in the house or cooking or whatever. Cool. Interact, integrate. But people have their roles. And if you remember your role first and foremost, you have less problems.
Yeah, I think
I'm saying.
I think what's it called? this is where we may differ for me, because I feel like, I guess when it comes to dating, I haven't really formulated a strong opinion as to who should be leading and who shouldn't, because I've never really even thought about it as being that deep. I'm just there like floating, to be honest. But I'm single, so hey. I think when it comes to marriage though, or when people are in, even just serious relationships, so you've moved on from the dating stage to actually being committed partners, and this includes marriage as well, I would think that the best thing for any relationship is making sure the best person to lead in a particular situation is the person who leads, and not necessarily have it that one person is always the leader in all situations, because to be honest, sometimes that person might not be the best person to lead in a particular situation. So it might be, for example, when it comes to maybe you're looking to buy your first house, you're looking for a mortgage, and actually the woman works in finance all the time, so actually she's better suited towards this, and the man doesn't. So maybe in those aspects, the woman would be the leader because she's leading, searching for the right thing, because that's her field. And that's where I feel like, for me, the whole idea of being the leader is like, well, I think it really just depends on the situation, who should be leading in that particular setting. And I don't think it's necessary that a man has to necessarily lead the whole way through. And also, actually, to touch back on the nurturing thing, I feel like I've met some women who aren't that nurturing, guys. Like they're not that nurturing. They're not. It's not that they're not lovely women. They're just they have other qualities that aren't related to necessarily being caring people. They're nice people.
Holding the shade, boy.
But they ain't caring. They're just.
You're on the sly. You're talking about me, because I don't feel like I've got a nurturing bone in my body.
You know what's bad? I wasn't even talking about you, to be honest, because I actually think you're quite nurturing. Like, I genuinely believe, like, no, Farhana, you are actually quite a nurturing person, but you have your own way of doing it. I think
that's code for your way is shit.
that's not
you try. I see.
It's getting chilly over here. Woo.
No. No shade, no tea. I'm just saying, in some situations, some women aren't that nurturing. You're there sipping. Listen, I don't have time for this. I'm tired. You know what? Let me pause my point. I
get what you mean.
I don't know if you guys can see us, but Shards was just sipping her tea and doing side eye at the same time, and it was
multitasking, baby, multitasking.
Lord. I'm just saying, because is that I feel like there are some men who can be very nurturing. And some women who can be very strong, and then in their relationship, the woman is actually the more natural leader than the man. The man actually is the one who kind of not panders after his mate or partner or whatever, but they kind of he will take her word for a lot of things, because in that relationship he is the one who provides most of that nurturing role, and I think that's fine as well. And I guess all of that really depends on the dynamic of your own individual relationship.
Let me put this twist on it. I know that there's different personalities, which is what you're describing. People who are naturally stronger or take the lead more naturally, and they may be women or they may be men, and some men are more submissive, let's use that word, or let's say more nurturing than some women. However, if a man listens to his woman and gives her the freedom, because I'm not going to use the word allows, gives her the freedom to make the decisions, to take charge, that doesn't mean that he's not a leader. That's exactly what leaders do. So as a manager, you delegate tasks. You don't do all of them yourself. You delegate tasks based on who's stronger at doing what, and therefore they take the lead on that specific task. That doesn't stop you from being a leader. That doesn't stop you from, it doesn't make you any less of a man. It just means it's proportionizing, and it's putting things in the right place and where they need to be. And as you've rightly said, people are strong at different things, as they should be, and they should be used to their strengths. But I don't think it doesn't make him a leader or the head of the household if his woman is more demanding or more motivated or more, strong-headed or more career-driven or etc. I don't think it makes him any less of a man. Neither do I think it makes him any less of a leader.
Are we chalking up the idea of being a man being related to solely being a leader?
No.
Okay.
Well,
that's that then.
No.
Okay, but to slowly draw it back.
So all the in-betweens.
Yeah.
All them, I don't know. Everyone has a different point of view on dating, I think, as a whole. But listen, let's get back down to it.
Yeah.
Pay for my meal if you're taking me out. Sorry. If you take me out for a date, you are paying. I have my money, and guess what? I will definitely pay if it comes to us either leaving the restaurant with you paying or washing dishes. Honey, best believe I'll pick up my purse. But like, if you are calling me out, I may not insult you there and then, but the look I give you, you know to never speak to me again. Because I don't even know what your intentions are at that point. Ask me out and not even show up with your wallet. Come on. What kind of rubbish is that one?
I would just like to say, this might sound a bit whimsical, but I would like to have thought by the end of the evening, when we've chatted and gotten a general feel of each other, you would have picked up on the fact that I have no type of agenda. I'm not out here to slide for your debit card. I'm not out here to try and, suss you out. This isn't a game. It's just two people trying to have a meal together. Like Chad said, you're trying to court me. You wanted to spend time with me. So this is the price you pay, I'm afraid. I didn't tell you to take me to no... What's that funny restaurant we went to that begins with Z? Zuzi's, whatever it's called. That weird, funky ass restaurant that's overpriced for no reason.
Zizzy.
They asked you to take me there.
Wow.
She put in Zizzy.
They must have been dead, you know. Don't even know them in the restaurant. Dead date.
That zucchini.
Dead date.
But yeah, I didn't ask you to take me there. We could have gone to Nando's. We would have had just as a good time on a lower budget. Like, no one said that you had to break your arm to feed me. my palate is quite simple, okay? Chicken, chips, I'm good. It's just common courtesy. It's just the polite thing to do, and you see, it's just the right thing to do. Don't do it because you're trying to prove a point. Just do it. It's the right thing to do. That's it.
Just to say, Zzz's ain't that expensive, but no shade.
Leave me.
I'm just saying, no shade, no tea. But anyway, I think at the end of the day, when it comes to dating, like I said before, I'm gonna appreciate the gesture if you offer to pay. And if I do actually like you and you're like, oh, let's split, I will be like slightly disappointed, but it's not gonna put me off someone completely. But I will say adamantly, if I don't like you, or if I don't really want it to go forward, I will hands down offer to pay probably even the whole bill, because I'm like, no, we're not doing this. So it really just depends on how much I guess we get along during the date. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be happy to look after myself because that's how I was raised to be. But I'm going to appreciate someone who wants to actually take me out and wine and dine me because it's cute,
Because it's cute. Don't use that word. They don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Well, I think we can all agree. I think people are just like, you're just looking into it a bit too much. Back in the day, it was just a common courtesy, like I said.
I think people need to definitely get their perspective right in terms of how they see it and lay it down, because people cannot read your mind.
Yeah.
If you are that kind of person who expects this type of thing, say it. Be open about it. But, don't be going there with your head in the sky and then, you get disappointed or it becomes something that it's not. Y'all need to talk about it. And that's where I stand in terms of being upfront. Whether it's what I expect from you as a person or from this experience or from this date or whatever, I will lay it up front. And girl, I'm as independent as ever, but I definitely like to be courted. And if you want to date me, then you do what you need to do.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree that we're telling you, essentially, all of you men out there, please pay. Okay? Please pay, or we will take ourselves away. And you might think that's no skin off your back, then cool, innit? But we have no problem knowing our worth. But yeah, anyway, guys, it's been great. I hope you enjoyed tuning in. Please make sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. We love to hear what you guys think on the subject matter as well. Make sure you also follow us on our social media, which is also going to be down below.
And for those who are not on YouTube, by the way, it's at 92.diaries on Instagram and 92 diaries everywhere else. So,
get to following, and tell a friend, tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell their other friend, to tell their uncle, and maybe
Tell their
aunt.
mama.
We don't know. We don't know. And your grandma back in Africa. We don't know. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Much love. All of you. Stay blessed.